Hello, Monster Forge here again with another episode of... So today I got a notification that something from AliExpress was arriving, and I didn't check to see what it was. I kind of wanted to be surprised, but I have a box here, which is not usually what you get from AliExpress. Usually it's a bag. So I got this. It's a box of BLOKEES. I don't know what the heck that is. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure what's in this box. We're gonna open it up and find out. Honestly, I have no idea what's in here. So I will slice-a-cate it with my slice-a-cating blade. And we will just empty out whatever it is. Sight unseen for me, because I don't even know what it is. Here's one thing, and oh, I didn't expect this to be here this early. Yeah, it's the new BLOKEES. Is it action? No, champion class. These are the ones that are like, they're kind of like 1/12 scale figures. Man, I love BLOKEES, and seeing them do something this nice, and wow. So yeah, let me see on the box here. There's the Stormtrooper, and from everything I've read and seen videos of these things, they say that the articulation is outstanding. It comes with lots of accessories. It just looks like a lot of fun. And what I'll do is I will unpackage this guy right now, or, you know, open the box, and we'll take a look at what comes. Let's see, any information here anybody wants. There's a, I have no idea what. It's all written in a language I cannot read. I assume it's Chinese. I guess. I know they're made in China, so I assume it's Chinese. I'm not good with the old kanji game there. But anyway, what it says on here is this is the champion class, so it's not the same as the classics class that they have for you know, like Transformers. They have a classics class, and then they've got the champion class, and this is marked as S. I guess S is size small, and there's a medium and a large. I don't know what size those are going to be, but it'll tell you right here you don't need to paint it, you don't need glue, and you don't need tools. And this one is actually, which I knew these were officially licensed anyway, but this is officially licensed from Disney. Very cool. BLOKEES is quickly becoming my favorite toy company over all of the other ones, except for some of the independent guys. Like the Four Horsemen are great. Onel Design that does the Glyos, they're great, and a bunch of other indie guys. But as far as like a big company goes, I don't know how big BLOKEES is, but they certainly are blowing up all over the place. But they are quickly becoming my favorite toy company because they're making things that are very affordable for the collector. And so I will get this opened up and put together, and we'll take a look at it after that. Golly gumdrop, I forgot to open the box up and show you the contents before I started just hacking away at it and putting it together. So we shall open it up and see what's in here. Like most model kits nowadays, particularly the ones from Asian countries, very, very nicely done in these little bags with the sprues in them. It has a stand, and I've already seen some people talk about the stand, how it's got a really cool way of the figure connecting to it. Here's some, these must be some of the painted parts. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You know exactly who you're getting right there. I collect Stormtroopers. So this immediately, they have the Darth Vader. And the one thing that made me kind of hesitant to get the Darth Vader is it's got a plastic cape. And I could replace it with a fabric cape, but it's like, I'd just rather have a Stormtrooper anyway. I'm big about Stormtroopers. Have been ever since I was a kid. Here's another part of the stand. Like something fell off of one of the screws, which happens. They make these real easy to get off the screws, so every once in a while you'll have a piece fall off of a screw in the bag. Nothing big there. And here's the instruction booklet. Is it done like a... Yeah, it folds out. Is it double fold? No, it's just thick paper. Everything about this just screams quality. Like everything about this kit, the package, the way everything's packaged inside of the package, everything like that, it just screams quality. So, let's see. That shows how the stand works. Cool. I know one thing about the stand that's kind of strange is to peg it, it doesn't have a peg into the foot. It's got a peg that you plug into the foot that has a peg going down. So it plugs in that way. I don't know how I'm going to like that or whatever, but we're definitely going to take a look at that. So anyway, I will rip into these bags, build it, and I'll be back in a few seconds. And here I am back with the fully assembled figure. And it took me about, I don't know, about 30 minutes, something like that, to put it together. Real clear instructions, fantastic building experience. Didn't use any tools, and the parts popped out really well without, you know, any real major problems with flashing on them or anything like that. Flash is where a little bit of the plastic runs out of the mold, and also no real sprue marks on it. That's where the model parts actually connect to the plastic runner that they're on. But yeah, this figure is outstanding. This is the officially the first foray into the bigger size figures and actually more realistic looking figures for BLOKEES, because most of their stuff has been kind of, you know, super deformed or chibi or, you know, that type of thing where the proportions are kind of cartoony. This one is more accurate. More accurate in some ways than some of the official figures that have come before. This thing is a dream to pose because the joints are all nice and tight, but they have like a smoothness to them. I'll compare it in a minute to some other figures, but what you get when you put it all together, you've got the figure himself, and he comes with multiple hands. There's 2 extra right hands, 2 extra left hands. There's parts on the sprue to build another hand, but you have to swap out this part from the hand that has the gun. And all it is a pointing finger. And if I really need him to point, I'll use this one, with the left hand point, which would look cool with him holding the gun up and pointing at you. I'm gonna shoot you. He has 2 fists, and they're all nicely sculpted. Like everything about this, the sculpt on everything is nice, real smooth sculpts. And he has another open palm. Now I choose to have him with the open palm on his left hand and the blaster on his right. The blaster is actually, one of the hands is made with the blaster in it. So the blaster Helps if I focus it, doesn't it? The blaster doesn't come out of his hand, which some people might have a problem with, but I love it because that's one thing. Oh, excuse me. That's one thing that a lot of the Stormtroopers that I have from different lines, they lose their weapon real easy. Because usually the blasters are little tiny pieces, unless it's, some of the bigger figures. But like the vintage collection figures that are, 3 3/4 inches tall, their guns are like a figment of the imagination, just about. But you also get, along with those extra hands, for some reason there was an extra one of these little joints. This is actually a joint. It will bend. I hope I had it on the right axis. It actually bends. You can see there it's bent. These are the joints for the wrists. Not really sure why it included an extra one. The instructions were in Chinese. There was no English. It was just pictures and numbers for the parts, but it was real easy to put together. But anywho, he also comes with this stand, and it's a nice looking stand. It feels like something very Star Warsy. Nice little grate design, and it has the typical BLOKEES peg size in there. So I suppose if you wanted to, you could plug something else in those if you have a connector that fits the Transformers feet or whatever other BLOKEES figures. I suppose that would work for that. Now, how is he attached to the stand? Now, that's the one thing about it I'm not super crazy about, is it's actually, you see the peg sticking out of the foot. It's actually a separate part that you have to take off. And I think this will be the last time that I have him on the stand, because he will stand just fine without the stand. He's posable enough, you can get him balanced. But this part right here is what works with the stand. You can stick it back there to keep it out of the way or whatever. But this is the bottom of the regular bottom of the foot, and it just pegs in. Make sure I got it lined up. Yep, it just pegs in tightly, and he can stand just fine without the stand once you get his balance right. Yep. So I'll put the stand out of the way. It's a nice stand, don't get me wrong. I'm not crazy about having to take the part of the foot out and put, well, you know how it is. I wish they would start making stands that can hold the extra parts. I've seen some companies do that. BLOKEES hasn't yet. With the way they are constantly upgrading their stuff, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They're doing great so far, but, they keep improving, and I keep on being impressed. But you can change up the hands. There's a little ball joint in the wrist, and you just pop it out of there, and then where's the pointy finger? It's pretty tight too. I'll say that. That's one thing I like about it, is the joints are really tight on it. There we go. And so you can have him doing his little command pose. Get those rebels. Focus first. Get those rebels, or something like that. But yeah. So I'll just go back to the hand, and I'll keep it. I'll probably keep it with this hand. I tend to, whenever I get figures that have the extra hands and all, I tend to have a favorite type of hand. And for me, with Stormtroopers, I always like having them hold the guns, because they always seem to hold them two-handed in the movies and the cartoons. So, yep. There you go. Now, articulation, fantastic. Sometimes it feels like it wouldn't move certain ways, but it does. Like, you got this right here. It's like, oh, I can't get the arm out to the side. What you do is you just lift up this. It's on a hinge at the top of his shoulder, and then you can tilt the shoulder out so you can have a good range. He's got a butterfly joint in there that gives him a lot of range, and he's got a ball joint inside of there. So he's got a good range of movement, and you can kind of play with it to get whatever you want. He's got a bicep swivel that's really tight, so I find it's easier if you bend the elbow. He's got a double jointed elbow, so he can't bring it all the way up, but it's pretty far up. Like I said, he's got a hinge joint there, and then it twists both at the bottom and at the top. It's a double ball joint, basically, like that in each wrist. He's got a joint at the bottom, a ball joint at the bottom of the neck. Well, come on. He's got a joint at the bottom of the neck, a ball joint, and he's got a ball joint at the top, so you can get a lot of range of movement on the head. He can look up pretty good bit and look down pretty well. He has a ball joint at the top of the, where the diaphragm is, and he's got one at the waist, so he can turn a good bit. You just have to shift him. Let's see. He has the little pouches, like his little ammo packs or whatever they're supposed to be. I think they're ammo packs. They will flip up out of the way. They're on a little hinge right there, which is a really cool design. I'll give you a look at the back there. A lot of nice detail. But you flip these. If you flip them up too far, they'll pop out. They just snap back in. There's a little clip there. But the knee, the hips go forward this far. It's on a ball joint, so you get a good range of motion. Plus, it has a flip down, so you can really get that leg up there high. And likewise, you can get his leg out to the back if you do the flip down on the hip. Each one has a, you can do that. You can make him a little taller, but it looks goofy. But you can do like deep poses like that. You can have his legs up so he can, kneel down a lot easier. He has a double jointed knee. He actually has his little, the little band thing here is actually articulated too, but I think it's mainly just to get it out of the way for posing. Get that back up in there. That's going to be a problem. Well, not really, because I don't usually do much excited posing or anything like that, so it tends to stay in place. He has a hinge at the ankle, and he also has a rocker joint, but he also can turn his foot to the side too. So there's 1, 2, 3 joints in there, which is nice. He has a joint at the toe, if there's certain poses you want to have him in. And the one good thing about the stand is the little peg for the foot holds him up pretty well, so you can actually have him posed running. But I think if you really carefully balance this guy, you could probably pose him like that anyway, because he's pretty snazzy about the posing. Let's see. Let me get him back this way. Because what I wanted to do is I want to do some comparisons to other Stormtroopers, because the initial thought that I had were that these were, 6-inch scale figures. In other words, they'd be like the 1/12th scale figures. And as it turns out, he's a little bit smaller than that. This is a 1/12th scale Stormtrooper from Hasbro, the Black Series. And you can see he's bigger. That's going to be a problem for a lot of people that want their scale authentic, but you can always have one guy's standing a little bit farther back from the other if you want to have a display of them, and it works. Have this guy back a little bit, this guy forward a little bit. You can't really tell, but yeah. So he's a little bit smaller than the Black Series figure. Now, one thing I like about him over the Black Series is, like I said, the joints are really smooth. They don't have preset little indents to hold the pose certain ways, and sometimes that can be a bother with the Black Series figures because it won't quite click where you need it to. And so, like, the joints on this guy are like click, click, you know. It's got little indents, which, you know, that might work for somebody. It might not work for somebody else. This one has a swivel at the... Oh, and that's another thing, too. I forgot to point out. He has a swivel here at the armor joint. But he doesn't have a swivel at the knee. So you can still pose his leg that way, but you can't turn it from the knee down. But the Black Series, you can. It does have a swivel there at the knee. There's no toe cut here for the posing the toes. This one, does this one have a butterfly? Yeah, it has a butterfly joint, but I think the BLOKEES one has a better range for that. The shoulders on this one, you have to kind of finagle that thing at the top to get it out of the way. So it's kind of similar in that, you know, it just has to be moved a little bit. His chest is made up of two parts. So there's an underbody there, and this thing is just kind of loose on it. This is basically made the same way, but it holds a lot better on this one. So these are actually separate, the white separate pieces from the black. There's no painting involved. There are a few parts on here that have paint on them, and that is the little grill where the mouth is, the blue stripes on the side. And I'm trying to remember, did this have it blue? Yeah, there's actually blue on there. The little gray on the parts of the helmet, those are painted, but and also the little paint details on the stomach. But other than that, it's all just straight white and black plastic. And that works for me. I like having minimal paint apps on a figure because, you know, a figure like this, there's certain figures you want a lot of paint apps on, but one like this, it's nice because you don't have to worry about paint chipping. The Hasbro Stormtrooper, the hands, no, they're actually molded in different pieces of plastic, so that's good. Now, there are a couple of places, there's a couple of places here where the black is painted onto white parts, and that will rub eventually. And same with the knees and all, like these little parts here are painted black, and this is painted black on this part. So they do run a risk of chipping the paint off or rubbing the paint off. But anyway, that's him compared to a Black Series figure. Now, I can't remember if these were called Galaxy of Adventure. I'm not sure. They were kind of a stylized, sort of cartoony styled figure. They're like 5 inches or something like that, maybe a little bit over 5 inches. But you can see there he's way shorter than the BLOKEES Stormtrooper. So doesn't scale with those. It's kind of its own thing, and that may be a pro or a con. I collect so many Stormtroopers it doesn't matter. And just to show that, that's one of the vintage collection figures, the 3 3/4 inch, or scaled to the original Star Wars figures. Just more detailed sculpts and better articulation. So yeah, that's the BLOKEES Stormtrooper. I am very happy with this figure. I got mine on AliExpress. Sorry, I hit the stop button there. My bad. Got it on AliExpress, which is like, I think that's one of the few places you can get them. Maybe you can get them on some other import stores. But I paid like, I think I used the coins that you can accrue in the system to get some off of it. But I wound up paying like $20 for the figure. And that includes shipping, because the shipping was free. And I'm happy as I can be. The Black Series figure, he's a little bit bigger, but I paid $25 for him. And honestly, I like this guy better than this one. Don't get me wrong, the Black Series figure is a fine figure. It's great. But this one is my favorite. There's a shininess to it that is much more vibrant a shine than the Black Series figure. And that's probably because this is made out of ABS or I guess polystyrene, whatever they make model kits out of usually. And this is like PVC with maybe ABS inside the joints. That's types of plastic. But it's, you know, the PVC is more gummy. It's, you know, it's a little bit more flexible. Like the gun will flex if you move it and things like that. It's prone to warping more, but ABS is like, it's like, it's hard plastic. So it should be a little bit more durable. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if it bends, it's a little bit more durable. Whatever, I like this figure. Go on AliExpress and search for BLOKEES Stormtrooper, and this will turn up. Look for the best deal you can get. You might can look up and get the same price I got on mine. But anyway, this was a nice surprise for today. Getting this figure, and I was not expecting until, like, actually, I think it was like the latest thing I was supposed to be getting, and I got this before everything else that's coming in. So, you know, with AliExpress, you never know. But anyway, good luck hunting, and if you like it, grab you one. And if you like this video, give me a like. And if you want to see more of my videos, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to let you know when new videos come out. But I tend to let people know about it on my socials anyway. So until the next time, all you kids behave and treat each other well. Good night.